this is Samer. The topic today is perhaps a little bit unusual. Did you ever go to a doctor or a nurse? You expressed your symptoms, I'm not feeling well, I'm not doing well. And while there was mutual respect and the communication was, good, you did not feel that these symptoms were taken seriously. I'll give you a second to think about it. Ever happened to you? I think your answer is yes. This is typically unintentional, obviously. The healthcare providers, physicians, nurses, technicians, pharmacists, administrators always take you seriously. I'm a cardiologist and I always take my patients and my persons who I see in the clinic, in the hospital, anywhere, seriously. But sometimes unintentionally, whatever the reason is, the patient, the person feels my symptoms are not taken seriously. So what I'm going to talk about today is how to ensure or make it more likely for your symptoms to be taken seriously by your doctor or healthcare provider. It's very important to advocate for your health as it can lead to better outcomes. So my motto is always, I don't do things on the patient. That's like a favor or something. I don't do things for the patient. That's like sympathy. Hey, I feel bad for the patient. I do things with the patient. That is what we call compassionate care. We call it empathetic care. And we call it a partnership between the healthcare providers, the healthcare system, and the person, the patients, and their families. So it may sound like this topic is maybe obvious. You may find it to be a little bit unusual, but trust me, this is something extremely important and you need to address it. I'll tell you a quick story about a patient. We'll call her X for now. She had symptoms of dizziness, palpitation, so she was feeling dizzy, lightheaded. Her heart was beating fast and she had skipped beats, and she had fatigue. Initially, she was seen in the healthcare system and her symptoms were totally dismissed. And that created even more frustration, more dizziness, more palpitation, and more fatigue. Maybe this happened to you or your loved one, your family members. And again, in these videos, we want to talk about something real. We want to talk about something that you can relate to. And I'd love to see if in your comment section on YouTube or wherever you have these recordings, on WhatsApp, etc., if you can give feedback on this, because I think it's very important that we learn from one another and it's a journey. However, what she did is she went back and kept detailed note of her symptoms. She created what we call a diary and was asking very pointed questions. Like she would say, this is what happened, this is what it is, and this is what I feel. And she was able to get a proper diagnosis and treatment that transformed not only how seriously she was taken, but she ended up having something quite serious that was addressed, and she's doing great, and that is the end of it. And again, she went from one physician to another, and it ended up being taken care of. So you too, you need to be very specific when you're describing your symptoms and keeping track of them and not hesitating to seek a second opinion. So what's the message here? Sometimes people come to me and maybe to other doctors and they say, I'm not feeling well, whether it's in English language or other languages, which is understandable. But when we try to dig more, again, it remains very non-specific. So it's really important, to understand that the healthcare provider is always making every effort to understand where you're coming from, understand what your symptoms are, relate them to the science, which is when we do the physical exam and other testing and the labs, and try to really have a proper diagnosis that leads to a proper treatment or proper assurance if there is no need for treatment. Please remember, while this topic sounds very basic, I think it's extremely important and a source of frustration for patients and families and loved ones, and for physicians, nurses, and caregivers. So please remember, you are the best advocate for your own health. Share your experience or tips in the comment below and tell me if this is something that you faced. I think you did, and any tips for us as physicians, for you as physicians maybe, or as patients, would be very helpful. Thank you for watching, and if you like our videos, consider liking them and subscribing for more health tips. Again, you are the best advocate of your own health, and it's a partnership. Stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.